Time to let it rip on the panel tonight. 3 women among the growing list of candidates so far vying to replace John Conyers in Congress. They're here to talk about who they are, why they're running, their qualifications, their plans. With us tonight, our state representative, Sherry Denyogo.
Yes.
Former state rep Chanel Jackson, and former aide to John Conyers, Kimberly Hill Knott. As always, the hardest working man in broadcasting, anchor attorney Charlie Langton. Now, we intend to talk to every viable candidate in the race, but these are the women who braved the storm to be with us tonight. And we thank you for being here. Glad you're all safe. Chanel Jackson, you also have a history in Lansing. You were a former state rep yourself. You are now working for the Detroit International Bridge Company.
I am.
Owned by Maddie Maroon. And the question many people would ask, are you wanting to go to Washington to represent the people of Detroit or to represent the Maroon family?
Thank you for having me. I appreciate the opportunity. First, I want to thank God for this, too. It's such a great experience to be able to walk in a space where I can live my dream. But no, I'm not going to D.C. for Maddie Maroon. I'm going for my daughter and the tens of thousands of people here in Wayne County who work every day but still can't afford to make ends meet. I don't know if you've seen, but there's a new report by the United Way that details the fact that you've got folks working 40-hour weeks who still can't pay for necessities for their children. So I'm running to help restore the American dream for those families. I'm also running to help restore the Detroit dream. You know, my grandmother and grandfather came here from Rome, Georgia in the 40s because they could have an opportunity to live a good life, because they knew that my mother and my aunt and my uncle would do better than they did. We can't say that today. We need leadership in D.C. that'll stand up to President Trump, that'll stand up to oppressive policies, that can go into rooms and represent us with dignity and to get what we need to get done.
Of the day is safety in our schools. Congress is debating this right now. The president has said that he would consider upping the age of even getting a gun to 21. But we have assault weapons talk about banning. What's your thought on guns? But more importantly, how can we make our children safe when they go to school? Chanel?
Well, it's interesting because I was listening to the Senate Minority Leader today talk about what the Democrats' plan is, right? But I think the bottom line in general is that we need universal background checks, right?
Absolutely. That
you should not be able to go to a gun show or on the internet and really go unchecked in purchasing an assault weapon or any of those things. And so, you know, I think that there are comprehensive, common sense solutions that we can come to about this. I mean, how many more lives have to be lost for our leaders in D.C. to get it? I think when you're on the ground, when you're talking to people every day, and when you're living our circumstance, I mean, look at the violence we've seen in our own city in the last few days. I mean, the tragedy that we've seen. Something progressive, something smart has to be done, and we got to send a leader to D.C. who can build the partnerships to do it, right? It can't be somebody who's going to be screaming and hollering. It's got to be somebody who can work with strategic folks, build strategic relationships, and bring something home.
Council President Brenda Jones has a big lead right now, some 23% of the likely voters, followed closely by Coleman Young, state senator. In third place, Westland Mayor Bill Wild. In fourth place, the son of John Conyers III, and then everybody else. And right now, ladies, you are with that everybody else. So the question for you is, at what point do you decide that this race cannot be won, that you will get out and endorse somebody who does have a chance to win?
Just say that that poll didn't include me.
Okay.
So I'm here to stay, and I'm ready to win.
Thank you for being here, and we want to remind our viewers that we have invited every viable candidate in the race to appear on Let It Rip, and we hope they will at some point.
You got to show up.
Thank
you got to show up.
No question.
All right, coming
Gotta be in
up,
the room.
He wants to be your next governor, and just like the